Oh, good morning. At least I think it's still morning. Ooh, just. Where to start? Well, it's obviously September 6th. It's the Tuesday after the long weekend, the Labor Day weekend. And, yeah. This morning has not gone at all as planned. I shouldn't say at all, but as planned. Showed up and emptied some canola into the bins. So here, I'll back up a hair. Yesterday and, well, essentially Saturday, Sunday as well, we were combining canola. Seeming to be running pretty decent. Nothing spectacular, but very solid. I can't really be upset. And so we were hauling some here. Essentially all these bins are, this one's not quite full, but they're all canola. And we've been hauling up to Dad's as well. What we had been doing was harvesting mine, which are those two, and this one, first thing in the morning and in evening, because they don't have aeration on them. And we've been hauling hot canola. I say hot, but it's not like it's going to disintegrate. It's dry as can be. Up north to Dad's where there is aeration. I hope to put some aeration hopper bottoms over here in the near future. That's another video to talk about. But we pretty much finished all of Dad's that was ready. We went and tried some of mine and it was just barely ready. Could have used a day or two. And it was just too hot, middle of the day. It was like 35 degrees out and it's like, there's no point, just shut it down. It was still dry. It's just some of the bottom pods weren't ripened right up and you're losing yield. You lose two bushel an acre. It ends up being, $35 in a hurry over 100 acres. You get the point. It adds up in a big hurry. So, what's going on right now? Why am I here? Well, everybody else is about a mile that way, trying to see what the lentils are going to be like. I'm working on this bin because we're going to put lentils in here. I don't expect them to do very well. I can usually only get about 3,500 bushel in this bin that if I remember right, might be 3,700. I'm kind of expecting around that 20 bushel an acre mark. So that would give me lots of room. And, then I can convey them out. I don't have a conveyor yet, but I'm hoping to. If not, we can still easily. Anyways, I'm getting off topic here. Lentils are going to go in this bin. And so what happened this morning has not been very good. Hauled everything. That was fine. And kind of what I do is every time I get to a bin, like I'm going to fill a bin, I kind of have I hate saying my OCD, but I have my method or my double checks or my checklist, whatever you want to call it. And they're both very similar. One of the first things I do is I open the hatch, the lid. This one, pretty easy pull string. You can see light inside, and that's exactly the reason why I open it. I'm going to need it open anyways to put the auger in, but I open it, and that gives me a chance to just kind of walk around. So usually I do a lap one way, get back to where I'm going, and I stick my head inside. So I pulled the man hatch out. Now, whether that's a hopper bottom or a big flat bottom, I still stick my head inside and go, oh yeah, there's nothing in here, which is good. So the reason I do that, obviously not so much in a hopper bottom, but in a big flat bottom, especially this kind without the drag, you might, or even with a drag, you might have forgot that there's 200-300 bushel in of something you weren't expecting in the bottom of that bin. So it's just good practice, or maybe it hadn't gotten cleaned out. So you stick your head in there, have a boo. The next thing I do is get it ready to fill. So on this one, actually, well, start over there. On that one, it's a matter of putting the bin doors in, which is really simple. You just swing it into place, latch it in, make sure your stiffeners are there. And this one, I put my manhole back on. Like that. And I always test my gate. I couldn't do that this morning. It was frozen up. It was completely seized. So, unfortunately, I know what I'm doing from a past profession. I used to build fertilizer plants. I know how to fix these. It's just not very fun. And, you know, we're down south and we don't have a full bolt bin here. So it was kind of picking and choosing. You can see some of the hardware's not matching and whatnot. And it was a lot of cutting and banging and yeah, all sorts of fun. So that's what I spent the last couple hours doing. It was not really fun. And that's a heavy gate. Not a big fan of these viders to begin with. But we got things squared up now. Gate works real nice. Probably better than it has in 10 years. And essentially what I had to do, had to take everything off. I had to cut all the bolts off, or all the nuts, because they were too rusted and rounded to get an impact on. So I cut them all off, put new ones in, but also I slotted the holes a bit with a drill, about 1/8 of an inch down, just to give it a little bit more clearance. And we're off to the races. So I'm gonna get this auger moved over. I'm gonna clean up my tools, get the auger moved over, and I'm gonna go see what the other guys are up to. Well, I finally got back, everything kind of organized. Came and see they dumped one, and so I went and logged into the remote view. I'm not sure how calibrated things are or whatnot, and I should note that I can only see the 8230 because for some reason the SIM card that's in the iPad in the 8240 is not digging it, but that's something else. You know, we're talking pretty heavy. This is where it should be really good. Yeah, we overseeded. Actually, pretty much where Dad's combine is right there. There's like 4 strips that we seeded at a bushel. Everything else is 1.3. But this east side, it all looked really good on the map. Field average is showing 29. That would make me very happy. I don't know why it just switched. It really doesn't. It's a shame because I went and got an iPhone almost specifically to have for this, to be able to remote view and use field view cab a little bit better. And it's kind of disappointing because like you can't turn it on end for some reason. But yeah, well, we don't need that very badly. It will not show me the whole field. It'll only show me what's happened while I've been watching it, unless he chooses to upload it. But as you can see, I can only see that guy. But you know what? If we were to get a 35 average, yeah, I would not be upset at all. I'd be blown away. I don't think it'll happen because I think the west side is very weak. It looked like either disease or chemical damage. All right, that is the first load of lentils produced on this farm ever. It's kind of cool. Have a look what they So these are Proclaim Reds. You can see there's a few that are cracked and split. I guess you can probably see better over there. They are, oh my God, are they dry. I don't know if you can hear the crunching, but wow, are they hard. Tastes good. Tastes real good. Dad likes to eat yellow peas. They're a bit bitter for my liking. I could eat those all day. Kind of like, I don't know. I'll think on it. Damn, those are good. Gotta make sure I don't get a handful of bugs or rocks or something like that. Yummy. Yeah. Low and slow. This is Doug in Dad's combine, but it's his first time ever shaving the ground. Like, normally we just didn't bring him out. Like, a lot of times, like, 'cause he's retired. He was a farmer back in the day, and then he became a parts guy for a bit. And now he's retired. Hangs out at the lake pretty much all summer. Hangs out with his kids. Great old life he's got. But he still likes to come run combine for us. And we just, you know, middle of summer, he was usually, like, when we're getting into the peas, he's usually got family down, so we don't bother him. And you know, so this is his first time doing, we'll call it barber work or razor work. He's doing just fine. So, good boy, Doug. The lentils themselves are not very tall, but you see, so far they seem to be doing okay. Like I said, my first time ever growing them, so I don't really know what to expect. Well, it's time for some good news, bad news. Maybe bad news, good news. Maybe we'll do a sandwich thing where it's like good news, then bad news, then good news. So we're pretty much done my quarter of lentils. I'm gonna call it a bit of a success. Let's take a look. So, right now we're sitting at 26 bushels per acre. That's based off of all the grain we've produced and the field size. As you can see, we're not done yet. So, that's the good news. The bad news is that this part of the field is not producing very much at all. I'm gonna bring up my field view, wherever it went. Now, like I'd mentioned, only the one combine has, for some reason, the SIM card working. Instant yield, 8. 2, 4, 2. You know, field average is 27.5, and I don't think the machines are entirely calibrated, but yeah, it ain't good. There, instant yield. So that's the bad news. The good news is that the west half of the field, it did extremely well. Now, we haven't uploaded the data, so I can't go back and look yet, but I would have to guess the west half of this field got close to 45 bushel an acre, which is incredible. And that was enough to bring the yield way up, the average yield way up. Like I said, it's not very good here. Now, we're probably going to average, I'm going to guess, 5 to 10 bushels per acre on this side. which sucks, but we're gonna be damn close to 30 bushels an acre. I don't think they'll have enough on tonight, but this is a big but. We still have a couple kochia patches. There's another one over there. There's that corner, and I think there's one over there. I need 545 bushels to average 30 bushel an acre. If we get there, we'll just be there. But keep in mind, that's not gonna... This thing tallies 2% low, which means it would actually be slightly over, but then you take out your dockage and we're right back at it. See, there's some 21s up there. There's some this. Oh boy. This one just started flashing. Yep, the other one's flashing too. Almost at the exact same time. So we're gonna be cutting it really, 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 really close. I don't think there's gonna be enough, but maybe with the kochia spots afterwards, God, it's gonna be real tight. Stay tuned. All right, so here's Jim. Give it a few seconds. He's been going. It takes us a couple seconds to catch on. And
Doug better have about 340 because I think I might only have about 190.
didn't want to hear that.
There's going to be another 100 bushel in those kochia patches.
Way to get my hopes up.
I don't think I got that much.
You're off by 3 bushel. I guess we'll keep you around. Well, I'm 150 bushel short.